That's a better snap, isn't it, guys? What's going on? Let's talk about a record that was released on August 25th. Now, let's talk about the band first, really quickly. This is a band that has prominently shot up into the death metal stratosphere. And that band that was formed in 2019 in Cambridgeshire, England. I'll still never understand why you guys come up with the weird names you guys have over in England. Celestial Sanctuary. Since they've released Soul Diminished, as I stated, they're into the death metal stratosphere. Like, boom, see ya. Fucking gonzo. And to be honest with you, makes perfect fucking sense to me. So, Insatiable Thirst for Torment was released, as I stated, on August 25th, 2023. I have yet to listen to a record, call me your knickers, because, you know, there's a lot of death metal records that have been out, so just, again, call me your knickers. Where, as soon as you listen to it, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is killer. I'll get to that other part after. Thomas Cronin is the man behind the guitars and the vocals. Has been the main man since 2019. And Jay Rutherford is on bass. We have James Burke since 2020. Also Jay's been there since 2020 on the drums. And Matt Adnet, the newest guy, since 2021 on guitars. They have constructed, without a doubt, one of the best records this calendar year so far to date. Because I know next month is going to be a juicy bastard as well for death metal. So much so that every other record that I've done a review for in the last few weeks, and I know I'm getting to this a little bit, I know there's a bit of a gap, but really, there's other records that I've listened to that were like, I mean, they're not great, or they're not horrible, but I've really been waiting for this to review this the most, and I know I should have probably done this on Friday, but alas, we'll worry about that later. With all of the records that I've done this year and that I've listened to, I'm going to either not be able to properly do an end of year list, or I'm just going to talk about the best records, or just like even just sort of list them, but not in numerical order, because this is going to be extremely difficult. I'm telling you right now. It's this record, without a doubt, is going to be at least in what I would classify as the top 5 for sure, for fucking sure. And if you're not aware of the death metal that Celestial Sanctuary are sort of known for, bands that you can expect to hear and be like, okay, yeah, that sounds familiar: Frozen Soul, Gatecreeper, Tomb Mold, Undeath, Creeping Death, and Skeletal Remains. So they're pretty much in line with some of the heaviest of hitters, especially from this year alone. And not only that, like, you're gonna know that you're gonna, once you start listening, you're gonna be like, yeah, a lot of what he said, a lot of what he said makes a lot of sense. Signed to Redefining Darkness, a label who churns out absolutely nothing but fucking perfection, especially this year. And there's another record coming out that this year that I have the pleasure to a little review as well. And Jesus, that's gonna be anywho. Metal Twitter, as per usual, always comes in clutch lately, and I have lots of people to thank, but there's a few that I'm going to drop again. Death Metal Mum, better known as Faye, Ronnie Riff Ronnie Riffman, who I actually, or better known as Daz Shall Perish, it's his handle. He changed his name to Ronnie Riffman after put up a tweet about some different names. I was like, what about Ronnie Riffman? And it's my one great idea for the year, I guess. There's also Lindsay, who's over at the Heavy Metal Journal on YouTube. And there's K-Man over in Australia, who puts out his, the lists of stuff that's coming out. If you're on Twitter at all and you're not following K-Man for just like metal releases, you're a fool. So moving on to the rest of this review, because I've already baffled on about shit for about over 5 minutes now. With the track listing of this, there's only 8 songs on this, but you literally have some of the best song titles. Trapped within the rank membrane. Jesus, now I can figure out how I can talk. Glutted with chunder, which the humor is not lost on this. Swivel-eyed and gurning in the shadows. I swear you Brits have got the fucking best titles. Meandering stream of foul fluid. Glorious. Biomineralization, in brackets, cell death. The lurid glow of a dead burning body. I love it. Inquenchable thirst and gutted with a blunt blade. I swear you guys is a never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. So with all that, the one track I'm going to talk about the most, seemingly because it's the one that really sort of stood out for me the entire time when I did the listening. And don't get me wrong, every song it's not similar to the title, to the track that I'm going to talk about. But I'm going to speak about that. That's where I get a lot of my audio. So all of these 8 amazingly crushing death metal tracks, to be fucking honest with you, they're all flawless, every fucking one of them, okay? Only one other record in the death metal genre, outside of Cannibal Corpse, for the best death metal record, is Death Collector. Literally on fucking par with each other. If I had a chance to see both bands on the same bill in one night, it's sold. Let's go. And I'm being very serious here. And the guitar work is second to none. The bass really is audible and it rolls along with the guitars. The drums really fucking doing damage to the skulls, which eventually I'm going to get to this in the moments here. And Thomas probably has one of the best death metal roars. And the only one that comes close to that is Kieran from Death Collector. And again, bias as you see. So let's actually talk about the riffs and the sounds and the feels and all of that shit. The song that I'm going to bring up on this is Trapped. Hold on one sec. Let me go back to read it to you because, Trapped Within the Rank Membrane. And the reason why I'm choosing that, it is the fucking main, it's the first song. The riffage on this entire record is exquisite. It's very much drenched in the old school. There's mid-pace chugs like the intro to Trapped, or like in the intro, I should say. Other moments, there's a lot of Swedish death like Buzzsaw that just slams through the fucking mix, tears your face into complete fucking shreds. The drumming, again, really shines on here. And again, similarly on Trapped, you're going to get a lot of the blast beats. You're going to get a little bit of fucking old school sort of Napalm Death type grind. And even around on, like at the 250 mark, you're going to notice a lot of like, it's really big, fat, stompy fucking breakdown, which echoes a lot of the old school death metal and not like the shitty fucking deathcore bands of the last fucking few years, because on fucking deathcore, I just can't get into it. There's a beautifully placed, grindy fucking bass section in Trapped. And it's like, when you're listening to it, I'm like, okay, is he playing with the fingers or is he playing with a pick? Because if he's playing with a pick, it sounds more along that line. Unless he's using like a dark glass pedal where you can get that sort of really thick, nasty, distorted sort of grind tone to that bass. Being a former bass player, I sort of get nerdy about that shit. That section really makes the old fucking heart just whoo. Trapped gives me, like, the execution of that section alone really hones into what I love about this record. The distortion, the buzzsaw type guitar sounds, the blasting of the drums, the bass that just rolls, and really Thomas's vocals. His vocals really shines on here because you get this sort of guttural, not like your typical death metal vocalist. I mean, you know, they have the really sort of low thing, but there's enough of a high in there, okay? The lows and the highs, it's more shouty than anything, but at the same time, it gives a much better feel to what I particularly like in death metal. I love my gutturals, don't get me wrong, but I also like highs, and I also like what Thomas does on here, and also what I hear out of Kieran too from Death Collector. This whole record sounds like a very well-seasoned medium rare to medium fucking steak that's been just basted all to fuck, and it's just dripping with fucking... There's not a bad moment on this record. And I know it sounds like I've kind of gone off here and there, but my brain, that's how my brain works. I'm a bit fucking weird, which is fine. Not a big deal. This record gets 100% a 4.5 out of 5. It's on par with Death Collector. And again, if I had a chance to see both live, I would probably shit my fucking pants. Or my shorts. It depends on what time, because if they were over in this side of the world during summertime, I'm definitely going to shit my shorts. If not, it's going to be jeans. If you have not listened to this record, what the fuck is your problem? I hope you get a chance to pick up this record, or at least check it out on Bandcamp, on all the streaming sites, and of course you can get it from their website, as well as Redefining Darkness. So the next review that I think I'm going to do probably won't be until I get into September, because I know there's a bunch of records coming, but these are the ones that this was one I've been waiting to review and check out for a little while, and I love every ounce of this record. 4.5 out of 5, and I will see you guys again very, very soon.